Okay, here we are. All right, so let's get going. Um, Welcome to another Social and Recreation Committee meeting. For those who are watching the recording, as of right now, it's myself and Carrie Bruce on the call. We have some other members who will be showing up as well, and we'll bring them into the fold when they get here. But we've got plenty to talk about regarding the Social and Rec Committee and different events, projects we've worked on. So I'm going to jump into it. As I mentioned, the roll call right now is just myself and Carrie, and we'll start with open items. And by the way, thank you, Carrie, for being on the call.
No problem.
All right, so gym enhancement. All right, what we have now is an active physical credit card, which is what we've been waiting on. I know. So that's exciting. We can start to actually put together, and I've already kind of done this. I kind of transferred over to the Clubhouse iPad and I was going to show it on the TV screen. But really, all I've done is just take the items that I know are for purchase and throw them in there. Who knows if they're the best price or not? That's not why I did it. I just wanted to have them in there as kind of a reminder, and then we can go and kind of price check and shop around. And I'm also well aware you found actually some items for us too through a different supplier. And I want to,
Correct.
kind of compare and contrast with that as well. But now we have the power to actually pull the trigger on some of these items and get them into the gym. Um, so I'm just going to go through the list, and some of these are tasks, some of these are items for purchase. The first one is to prime, repaint, and seal the window ledges. This was initially Brian's baby. He, you know, was the first one to see that as an opportunity in the painting process, and then we realized afterwards that it was going to get scratched up. So we want to go back and do it correctly because I think it does look nice when it's done and finished. And then we also received back the powder coated final sign that was on the wall.
That's
That
awesome.
needs to get, yeah, and it looks fantastic. I love the color. So I want to get that back up on the wall. I want to get it centered and balanced on there. So my thought is there's a couple of little like kind of touch ups and things we can do. Maybe we take a Saturday and we knock them out as a team, maybe a couple of us in that process. And I'll talk about this a little bit later, but I want to record like maybe a few videos, quick ones, but we can at least get that done in the same day. And that could be like kind of the big pieces of equipment that do require a little more explanation, like the Smith machine, the dual cable machine, and those items. So we can try and organize that something maybe around the summertime when school's out and we all have more free time. Okay, install and paint cord covers for TVs, and we have the cord covers. It's just a matter of getting them up there. This is another one Brian had been planning. We want to order and install cork boards. So in the shopping cart, I wonder if this will show on camera, but I'll just pull up. There are these panels. I don't know if you can see that.
Yes, I can.
They're kind of cool. They're like, I don't know if they're 2x2 or 1x1 foot
For where?
squares, and you can put together like a pattern. You can make a whole wall out of it. It's really nice. So we can kind of customize with space and also design.
Right, but
And the idea
where do you want to put them?
the idea would be put them on that one wall where the mirror for the dumbbells is. So the inside there. And I thought that at least we can put up with like the flat thumbtacks, any notes, announcements, updates, things like that. If it
Okay.
doesn't work there, then it would maybe go on the wall with so there's that corner with the Roman chair and the white machine.
Right.
The two walls there are kind of open space. If the corkboard is just going to be for like announcements, contacts, reminders, whatever they are, it's just they have to be viewable to some degree. It doesn't have to be front and center, but we want it to be somewhat viewable. So I don't have a final location, but I just thought maybe where the dumbbells is might deter people from hitting that wall because I've already seen dumbbell scuff marks. And if there was something on the wall, maybe it'd be an extra second thought. Who knows? Just an idea. Um, we want to also install new floor outlet covers. So I still haven't found just a plain plastic cover. They come in just like the kit, and maybe that's the only route we can go with this. They're kind of more of a floor kit. I'll keep looking, but if I don't find anything, we need a replacement because they're basically broken. They're just these chipped floor outlet covers.
Right.
And then we want to do key holders and possibly some art. So an, another option for corkboard and key holder. So Maria Rudick, she has built us a cubby
Right.
station. It's like a vertical cubby station. It's really cool. She's going to be painting it, I believe, today, or she did yesterday. And so we'll get to see the final product. We measured it for that corner where the Roman chair and the wipe station is, so it'll go there. And she may be able to install key hooks on the side of it that is open and like for access. Maybe that will work, maybe it won't. Maybe the wall is a better spot. Again, this we're still figuring out exactly where. Oh, actually, funny I just mentioned her. I think she's walking in with the cubbies right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so we'll get to see them. And so little things, key holder rings, I definitely know I can use them. I always take them out of my pocket and I just set them on the ground. So if there was a key hook, I would use it every single time. And then art, which is probably more challenging just because, it's more opinion based, to choose something like that. I think the goal would be to try and keep something, it's simple enough that it will stand the test of time. Like it won't get boring, it won't be outdated, and generic enough to where it's not questionable. I think what happens when we get specific with certain subject matter is then you get other opinions in there. When it's very abstract and kind of ornate or whatever it might be, as long as the theme and it feels like, say, strong or bold, or it has an element of like energy or strength, if it feels like that, if it evokes that feeling, I think it'll work. Then we just want to keep within the color schemes. But I've done very limited research on that. I know you've done some research too, so it hasn't been a major focus, but something we can look towards. Another item that's not a priority, but again, I think once everything is in and you have that empty space above the dumbbell still, that's when we're like, okay, let's get this part of it done. And that's probably when we'll do it. How you doing, Lorraine? Welcome to the party. So I'm here with Carrie on the call, and now that we are going to be getting more people, what I might do is turn the camera back, like, or actually open it up to the table here. So let me just move this, Carrie,
Okay, no problem.
so you can see all of us.
All of us.
Yeah, the team.
Hi.
Come sit here.
Always get called the work later. So.
No, you're good. What we're doing, I'm gonna get you agenda.
I got him.
Yes. Um, so Carrie and I were going over the list here on gym enhancement, and big news is we have a credit card that's both active and physical. So we can use that. What we want to try and do is build out maybe a shopping cart on Amazon. And if we can collect outside too, we just get that list together with the pricing, and then we can go ahead and purchase. Okay, so we were on key holder, which you and I talked about, cubbies.
It's out there.
Hold on. You're looking at it much
Thank
closer.
you for doing that.
Yes,
Thank you so
thank you
much
for doing
that.
that. Okay, so next up on the list, order and install info and reminder signage. That could be TV instructions for the Roku devices. Brian is gonna help kind of dictate what that will be. It might even be a QR code where you would scan it and it would take you direct to the app, so you can like download it. Reset the machine That would be a good one. With these, like reset machine, wipe down machine, do not drop weights. These can be little tiny, like either placards or like almost like envelope labels. They don't have to be anything extreme, but to have like on the machine, right where the plates are, when they're making switches as a reminder, please reset weights. Those I think are gonna come in handy
Those
for,
label things just don't stick well.
yeah, so we want to find one that maybe a label maker or something that needs a little more.
Or somebody has a laminator.
Yeah, Carrie, I think you said, you had mentioned something, didn't you?
About what?
About a certain label maker?
Laminator?
Yes, I have one.
You do have one, okay.
I
Let me turn
do.
up the volume. Okay, great. Um. So really what we're gonna get you is a list of the verbiage, so the wording for whatever it is, the amount
Yep.
of labels we would need, and then we
Yep.
can go ahead and produce those and get them on there.
Yep.
I even thought about one where, you know how like the red adjustable lever is actually a push lever? Like even just the word push, might help some people there too. I even forgot, I forgot on
Well,
the,
that if you had a label maker, that prints out the little sticky,
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that.
Cause I've actually seen someone too, like trying to pull that thing up, but it's not going and then, and then they figure it out, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just little things, but it would probably go a long way for people who are unfamiliar with the space still. Do not drop the weights, plates, that stuff too. So another one I thought of is making the number a label for the plates on the Smith machine and having that on its holster. Because I have seen fives down at the 45s, tens up at the fives. They're all over.
Oh my God, really?
Do you not think that would be worth it? I mean,
No,
that's
no,
how
no,
it was.
no. No, I'm just surprised that people are doing that. Really?
Oh, I know.
Are you?
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Well, I rearranged it because I'm OCD like that, but like
Yeah, no, I
I-
get it. We just kind of have to, for the lack of a better term,
handhold.
dumb dumb label it.
Yeah.
Dumb label it. Wow.
Um, yeah, so like those are just little
Okay.
things. If we have the maker, we can do all of those.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, on to the next, confirm, create, order, and install the gym rule sign. So I don't think I'm gonna get any cooperation or response from the Safety and Security Committee on this. I just don't think it's a priority right now with the security system. So I think what we have to do is just go with what we had and get it up there to large enough to be read. And I mean, I'm gonna kind of cross-reference to other, if I could find online gym rules, see if we're missing anything. And then I'll present to our committee what I think is the final list. You guys look through it, and let me know if you think I'm missing anything before I submit to get a placard created. Because I think we need
Okay.
one large wall, okay? And then we'll just do it.
You want to get like a plastic type, like something printed, not just like printed.
Yeah, almost like acrylic,
Mm.
and I was hoping to have it where it would be like black with gold text
Mhm.
to have that color scheme in there. And I think that would pop, it would look nice, and it would be like the official gym rules.
Mhm. There's just like no room there for anything.
No, I had a measurement of the space where it's that one kind of wall when you come in the interior door and turn left,
Mhm.
that wall right.
Oh yeah, by the dumbbells.
Yes, so not on the inside, but literally the thin wall, and so
Yeah.
it would be a long one. So I think that would work. Okay, so this is more maintenance stuff. Chris is aware that two of the ceiling lights are crooked, they're off when they were originally installed, so those need to be adjusted. He's also aware that one of the fans was not mounted as well as he had hoped. So it kind of has a wobble to it, and I even heard it this morning for the first time. So that needs to be fixed. New order, order
Is he
maybe,
the guy that was painting the fence this week?
that's what his project is right now.
I just had never seen him before, so I didn't know if that was the guy.
Yes, long hair, yeah, that's Chris. Um, we want to order a wipe dispenser, and consider something a little bit more skin slash equipment friendly. I think what we have now is okay, but it's not a bad idea to look into more like wholesale options so we can purchase whether it's in bulk or regularly, something that's a little bit nicer on sort of the hands.
So it's a wet wipe that you're trying to have?
Yeah, it's like a
Not
cleansing.
like a spray. Chemical.
Correct. We used to do that because the wipe dispenser wasn't working, it wasn't filled, so that worked, but I think wipes are easy.
Is somebody gonna maintain that?
Yes,
It's not just
it
gonna
would
be a
be part
yellow
of,
rag. That's-
correct. No, it would be like single wipes, yeah, and they would get replaced. Oh, reset Roku devices and mounting of the actual mouse. So we want like holsters on the wall for their mouse. That's the location. Right now, they're in the cup holders of like the treadmill or the elliptical, and then they get moved around too. So we want to make sure they have their own locations. Clean off the rust of old dumbbells with barkeeper's friend powder. So I don't know how long that's gonna take. It's honestly, we just need one person who can be committed to that project. We'll order the stuff, and then on a Saturday and Sunday, they come in and they just do it and it's done. So I'd like to find that within our committee, and hopefully we can get that accomplished, sometimes this.
How many dumbbells? Do you-
It's the old rack, so basically all the dumbbells on that rack, it's the handles for. Repair the ring next to the left handle of the lat pull down bar. It's left or right, depending on which way you swing it around. We need to, I didn't have to put this on here, but the chest press band, tension band, I guess it is called, is loose.
It's
So
not, it's supposed to be, I don't know if they call it a tension band, but yes, it's supposed to be taut.
yeah,
It's
so
very loose.
I brought that to Rebecca's attention this morning. I brought the loose ring on the lat pull down, that. And also one of the benches for the dumbbell is slightly tilted. It's like, it's not level. And I actually thought to bring my level in to actually check it, but I can see it kind of tilted. And I don't know if somebody landed on it or it's missing maybe a washer or something. I thought that was interesting, so I figured maybe they'll take a look at it. If they confirm that, maybe they'll either fix it or replace it. But those are the only three items right now that would be up for Fitnessmith to come and take a look at. And the other part of that too is to order additional plates and a bar
Yes,
pad for the Smith machine, which
and a
we have.
curl bar,
That's right, the Olympic curl bar.
the Olympic curl bar.
We should get that, you think, through Fitness Smith, or should we get that elsewhere?
No, I don't think that. I mean, the plates, yes, but I don't know if we need to get it from Fitness Smith. It depends. I mean, we can research the price on it. I mean, Fitness Smith will offer it to us or will have it for us, and it would be the easiest option. But I don't know if we can get it cheaper somewhere else. If that
Okay,
really matters.
yeah. Well, that wouldn't hurt to get it on the quote. I mean, they'll throw it on there and we'll say, hey, you just remove it. And we'll
Yeah,
just go with the plates and the pad.
yeah.
Okay, I've added curl bar on here, and we just need to go ahead and go with the plates and the order or the quote they gave us on that stuff.
Also,
Uh,
I have the list of. Sorry to interrupt you, but I have
no,
the
that's
list
great.
of the functional equipment.
Yes.
Do you want me to email it to you, or I think I gave it to you already. I gave you a copy, didn't I?
You did give me a copy. I have it at my house. I forgot to bring it. So if you want to just kind of go over the list of what's on there, because I,
Sure.
I threw stuff up here too, and I just want to get reminded of the pricing of some of that stuff.
Okay. So the most expensive thing on there to start was the Gym Wipe stainless steel stand. So and that's optional. Okay, if we want to have the the gym wipe stand in there and not use the other gym wipey thing that we have in there. But that was $520 for that.
Right, okay.
Then I have a secure wall-mounted rack for the bands. That was 125.01, $125.01.
And that's just the rack?
That's just for the rack.
Okay,
Okay, and Airex, AIREX, Airex mat. I got three of those for $240.
okay.
And then we'll go to the bands, which they call them Versatubes. So premium Versatube. So I got three light bands for $49.50, three medium bands for $52.50, and then three heavy bands for $60.
Okay.
All right. Then
And
I
those are,
got,
when you say two bands, they have the handles on them, right?
yes, they have handles on it. I also got three extra heavy bands. Those are $63.
And are those more like to assist for like pull-ups and stuff?
You can do anything with them.
Okay,
Anything. You can work your whole body with them.
okay,
It's just more of a functional way to work out. If
got it.
somebody's going to be sitting there using dumbbells or using the cable or something like that, you could pick up the bands and do the same thing.
Cool.
Okay.
Do they come in, do you have to get three of each?
I put three of each so that more than one person can pick up a band and do something. So it's not just, limited to one or two people. I mean, we can do two bands each, but, I just figured three was a good number. Um, I got a stability ball, the VersaBall Pro stability ball, a 75 centimeter, which is 62.95. And then the ball base, so that's the ball sits on that so it doesn't go rolling all over the gym.
So this is a fully round ball.
Correct.
Okay,
75 centimeters.
got it.
Okay. The ball base, so the ball sits on that. That's I got two of them because I have two size balls. I have a 65 centimeter and a 75 centimeter. The 65 is $54. The 75 is $62.95. The ball bases for two of them adds up to $83. And then the stackable steps. So I got one 4-inch height for $43.50 and one 6-inch height for $48.
So those are like box jumps?
Yep, you could do box jumps, you could do step lunges, you could do reverse lunges, you could a lot of stuff. You can get
Okay,
creative. All right, that was everything that I had on my list. That totaled 1401.46.
okay, okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I think that's it. So what I would like to do is put together your list, um, with some of the signage stuff, that would be not through the label maker, but, other sort of like placards, like the barkeepers cleanup and all that stuff together. Um, and then get that to Rebecca. But I think what we need to do is determine of the list, what are all the items that we're gonna purchase? Because we need to see the total of that, because that's going to go into what would be part of this gym project still. And so I think before we can make a purchase on all these items, we were gonna have to go through it and make sure, all right, are we able to and willing to spend this amount at this time on all of these items, or do we need to sort of reprioritize a bit and see how this sort of usage of the gym continues, And maybe those items, some items we hold off on, some items we continue with. But I think if we see that full just purchase list and we know the totals, I think that will be helpful. So I can do that in like either a spreadsheet or something like that, and then we'll have something to tangibly look at. That sounds like a good plan. Okay.
All the stuff that I have on there is all basic stuff. You know, like I said, 2 balls, a band, and a couple of boxes. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so it's all
Yeah, and I was
basic
thinking
stuff.
about, yeah, and I thought about the trash can slash wipe station, although I think that would be much nicer and more convenient because now you have a trash can in there too.
There's just not a lot of space in there.
Right, so we're limited on
Yeah.
space. The only part where I thought maybe that would fit is on that little thin wall before you turn the corner of the dumbbells, but it would stick out slightly,
Mhm.
but it's not too far to be obtrusive. It would just, that's the only place I could see it going.
Like I said, I put it on there because you mentioned it, and then I
Say that
just
again?
figured I put it on there because originally you mentioned it
Yeah.
about something like that, but it's totally optional. I mean, that'll take $500 off the cost right there.
Yeah, yeah, and that may be one of the ones for sure that comes off because we have a wipe station. We just need to get like the trash can set up in there, maybe updated or bagged properly. I'm not sure what the real issue is, but um okay. And then custom built cubbies, which we'll go take a look at after the meeting. And think that, and then Terry and you and I spoke about recording like equipment tutorials, which we'll find a time to do that. Um, and I think that should be good for gym enhancement at this time.
I volunteer.
You
to
also meant,
do the
go ahead,
dumbbell.
I'm sorry.
Did someone clean the dumbbells?
Yes,
I'll volunteer.
yay,
Absolutely. No, I won't do that. I'm sorry.
thank you.
Absolutely not. I'm like clean free. Yes.
Lorraine to the rescue.
Yeah, no, yes, I do.
Danny, you also mentioned
Very
about
easy.
artwork.
Say that
Okay.
again?
You also mentioned about doing artwork in there.
Yes,
Okay. The abstract idea, I get the idea. However, it doesn't really give it a motivation. When you go into a gym, you want to be motivated. And doing something abstract, even though the colors are going to match, okay, and that's all well and good, it's not something that's going to be motivating. You want something
You
that's
should be
more.
big Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's what we have in my
Yeah,
gym.
there you go. You know, you're gonna have pictures of motivational quotes at the very least that maybe has the same color scheme, or if not that, then people working out or pictures of equipment or something. That's something that's more motivating in a gym than doing. You know, like I said, that picture that you have sitting there behind you on that wall over there, that's something that's more abstract. That's not something you put in a gym.
and that would, yeah, I don't
That
like
would
that
work.
at all.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
I wanna put
I
that
don't
in
like it.
school. Oh.
Hey, didn't
You
know.
know.
Good. No worries. No, I know what you mean. I think I would love to do words around still, like,
Yeah.
with you guys around that inner sort of like raised section. I
Sure.
still think it's
Sure.
possible. It's just, yeah, it's gonna be a matter of finding the right material and finding out how customizable that can be and then designing it. I think that's a much easier sort of aesthetic upgrade for walls. But I know what you're saying. I think there's like a happy medium. There's like something in between. It's not like the standard cookie cutter motivational things, and it's not too abstract where people don't get it's like something motivational or inspiring, but there's something in between, I believe, that we can find. It's just we have to do enough
Okay.
research to find it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to movement challenge results. This is a quick one because although we did do the challenge, we hit up the ground running pretty quickly in the week one. And I even put an email together. We had quite a few participants. I think we had 12 to 14 people who actually added their names to the live spreadsheet. And the way I set it up is that you can kind of throw in, through a drop-down menu, what your movement was for the day. And as it started to go, everyone, including myself, completely dwindled. Um, I don't think it was set up in a way that, you know, pushed you or anyone, at least for myself, and a lot of what I'm sharing is like more personal takeaways. But it just didn't feel like it was inspiring enough. The accountability was skewed because the only interaction you had was seeing what somebody put in the cell, not really face to face. There wasn't any chatter around it. And we didn't schedule any sort of like check-ins or like weekly like calls or anything like that, which I think helps in a challenge too, right? So I think there are a lot of things that can be improved upon in that, but for a first outing, you know, and I figured out how to create the spreadsheet so that it was like a challenge-based webfish spreadsheet. I thought that was cool, but I think if we move forward and create a new challenge, it may want to be something that where the goals can be more tailored to the individuals, more specific and goal oriented, and also attainable. But I think there's something to be said about like the first attempt and then building up of that. But nobody's really here, I think, who did it. So I'll just leave it there. Okay, food truck night. All right. I'm excited about the up and coming food truck night for one main reason, and that's that I was able to lock in Shark Shack as our ice cream truck.
Did you see they closed the one by the movie theater that they opened again?
Yes, I know. Now, I didn't even know that they had an active truck for a while. I thought it was literally like that was what they started in, and then it became the store, and that was just like in the parking lot. But no, that's actually their ice cream truck. So they're going to be our sweet truck, and I am going to be confirming our savory truck tomorrow in an email, and I'll let everybody know who that is. But there are two trucks who are open to being our truck, and then it's a matter of getting the announcements out, the menus, and getting people excited and pumped about back out for another food truck night. And that's it. The other thing on that is I want to get food truck night signs, physical ones, whether it's just like one that it can be customizable and one that's like a cheap poster board from Walmart on a stick that basically points toward the rec area. You know, I don't know if it's happened, but I'm curious if people have driven up here looking for food trucks and said, I don't see it and left. But at least have them there so that people know that there's a food truck event behind the clubhouse.
Well, the good thing is now it's lighter out longer, so that's, I think, gonna bring more people out.
That's what I thought, but the turnout at the last one wasn't really all that great, and I don't know what caused that.
Was it super bright?
No,
'Cause I feel like
yes,
yes, because I think we were away. And like we just got home.
yeah, I think I had anticipated that spring break would have meant more people would have been available, but I guess more people were traveling or doing things out and about, and so it wasn't like this was like an escape from your routine. Whatever. So signage, I think will help. I want to try and get that by the way of card and have those up the Monday of the food truck week. So that's at least 2 days for people are aware. There'll be food trucks. The other thing, which I just learned we have and is going to be activated, is we do have a community channel on Comcast. We've had it for a while. I've asked about it, but I finally like have seen it. And it's channel 63. Rebecca's going to get it activated, and then she's going to let us know how we can add content and update that content. And part of that, I want to figure out with Brian, who's our tech guy with TVs, how can we set the community channel as the home channel? Every time you turn on one of these TVs, it's on the community channel.
Yeah, that's how it is. I go to techie person.
Yeah, so I think we can get that on there. That way in the gym, we'll always have the announcements up there. And if they want to change the channels afterward, if you want to have one pull over here, Carrie can see it. So yeah, more ways to communicate is always better. And I think having the community agenda is going to be huge in terms of announcements for events, looking for volunteers, you know, like whatever it is. I think it's a PowerPoint. We just print the slides, like up to it. Gonna need somebody to help with that because I think that's gonna be a bit time consuming, at least if it's like once a month or bi-monthly that we update this thing. So
That's something the office people can do. Like, I feel like that is what they should be doing.
probably, yeah.
Do it.
I think the question would be like,
What
how
are,
savvy are they with well, also the design of them, you know, like, what do they look like? Is it simple enough where like, they can use Canva and just very quickly put something together with the information and then pop it in there?
I mean, I don't mind making flyers, but I can't do anything like putting it on the TV. That's too technical.
Yeah, so let's find out how to do that and, okay, great. So that would be really helpful. Okay, so we will proceed once we learn more information about that. All right, next up, the Easter event, that's been canceled. A couple of challenges we ran into with this. I think it was late in getting the ball rolling. I think we need to start the planning of this in February and be done by mid to late March. That's really what that Easter event requires. That also gives us time to sort of get people before they've made all their plans, you know, to say, hey, can you help us prior to whenever you're leaving, and then get those things accomplished. Really, the first issue, not issue, but thing that we want to do with some of these is we have inventory of items for these events. I want to be able to go through those bins and determine what do we have, put together a sort of checklist of those with items, and then we know, all right, well, if we have, say, 10 spoons, great, so we can have 5 rows, 5 teams or whatever doing the egg walk or whatever that is. Or let's say we have 9, we're missing one, all right, so we only do 8, or we have to purchase another. That's information that would be really useful. And same with like, and you guys helped tremendously on the scavenger hunt of getting those filled up for the prizes.
we
But
were picking them up, but we went around to pick them up. People were giving us like dirty looks, like we were taking the sign, like they probably thought we like my kids were just like out there taking the sign. I swear.
We didn't see him the Facebook page.
now we can order Canadian insurance.
Someone the other day.
That's funny. Do we ever find there was one I think that was missing, right?
Oh, yeah, right? It was the one over here. I don't know. The one that was missing, I didn't find.
Okay, yeah, so I will,
Take one.
yeah, if we lost only one, it's not bad. So, okay, but thank you for your help with all of that, you and Sarah. Okay, so with that being said, we can approach next year and with our planning, and we can say, here's actually the date we need to start planning for Easter. And just by looking at this, we could have said like, all right, we'll say we're gonna talk about the Easter event in the February committee meeting. And we're gonna say reconvene, whether it's on a Zoom call or something, end of February, to be like, that Thursday or something like that for 30 minutes or an hour to figure out where we're at and who's gonna do what, that sort of thing.
I feel like the same thing happens in everything that you volunteer for, right? It's like we're all sitting here, nobody's gonna be doing that one, and none of us have said anything. It's like, I think that we need to maybe focus on the bigger ones and know who's going to be in charge of them, or say, hey, we need help. We don't have anybody in charge of this, right? Like, because I think that you are doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there's so many, like, you want to do a lot of things, which I think do sound great, but I don't think that the help is here. Like, getting it, so I think we kind of need to look at a couple of big ones and then make our way up to doing some small ones.
I agree,
I'm tired of it. I want to be able to help, but I can't.
no, I appreciate that. And you've done a lot, and I appreciate everyone who's helped out, and it's just coming to the meetings is help in itself, to work out some of the ideas, to figure out what do we actually want to do and challenge ourselves with. I agree, though. I think we need to have like the big 3, which is
Like, who wants to chair this event?
exactly. We need somebody who takes on the Easter event, and then they can start the conversation with our committee at this meeting and say, hey, guys, I need to collect volunteers now, and we put out an announcement, and they're the ones that follow up and look into that stuff. I agree. And then summer pool party, that's one I want to talk to about tonight. That's our big one. We had huge success with that, the last one, considering the weather and everything that went on. So I'm hoping it's gonna be even more popular this year, right? But we want to be prepared, right? And we're in April, so I think that gives us enough time if we start working on it now to be ready for it in June.
Oh, this is fun. I miss seeing you guys coach for food.
Yeah, Michael, he's our barbecue chef. All right, so yes,
All right,
Easter.
Danny, I need to go.
Okay,
All right. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go and continue, and then I'll just go ahead and go over the notes when you send it.
sounds good. All right, thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. I'll talk
Bye.
to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye bye.
Okay. And then holidays, Christmas. That's the other one, which I think now, silver lining, any monies we were going to spend on the Easter event, we can actually reallocate to summer pool party and Christmas. And we didn't really do like catering or anything for this Christmas event, which we've done in the past where we've had like, a photo booth station. We do hire like, Santa and Mrs. Claus and stuff like that to come and take photos. There's a cost associated with that, but we might be able to do a little bit more food wise or something, you know? So, but we have to, that's the other thing too, is I haven't been able to like
So
sit
we
down.
ate them last year?
Yeah,
I was like, wow, they're really in it.
yeah,
Like in front of us.
yeah.
You know, they're gonna pay.
And that's also, he's also one of the food trucks. So he's also very busy, yeah, and involved in many things. All right, so let's continue on the agenda. New items, all right. I'm calling it libation exploration, because we don't know what the libation is until we do. But we had a lot of success with the wine tasting, so I think that's a copy and paste event. If Sarah can get us set up again with that same vendor, that would be great, and we'll be
Do we
ready
need to do the wine again?
Yeah, same vendor, same sort of month. I thought that was really cool. You see that being a challenge?
I mean, right in this moment, you got way too much stuff going on. When is that supposed to be?
Oh, in September.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 maybe later.
yeah.
Right now,
No, I understand.
no. Right now, it's hard now.
Yeah. And I have no problem reaching out to her too. I spoke to her on the phone. If it's something like she's happy to do it for us, I mean, that's great. But that's one of the options. We want to look at maybe doing beer tasting. I'm in conversation with a brewery who I mentioned the last meeting is willing to do all kinds of very unique things, whether it's a beer and wine battle or pairing, a beer and dinner pairing, a beer competition where one brewery versus another brewery, and he would collect that stuff. So there's all kinds of cool creative things we can do with this individual. He likes doing them. The only way he'll do it is if we can collect a minimum number head count, and he'll do it. So I just need more leeway to organize that particular event. So it's not going to happen if anytime, maybe in July or something like that, we can do it. And maybe that is a good time to do it. So what I was thinking though is looking at May for our first. And
Seriously, she did.
oh, awesome. So thank you. So Michael had suggested a sommelier over Zoom.
Taylor, I think.
Uh,
Taylor cocktail. She
Right,
was the
right.
cocktail for Zoom.
I think if that's available to us, let's try it out because it kills two birds with one stone, which means we get to use this.
Like,
cool
start
TV,
human being.
and we get to do our adult beverage night, so we can bring attention to socializing and using that television as part of it. So I think we should just go ahead and lock that in
Yeah,
and be done with it.
we could create Highland Reserve drink.
Yeah, that would be cool. A very signature.
Very signature HR cocktail.
Now, we're not selling alcohol, right? Because that was an issue.
Correct.
Mhm.
I think it's a BYOB. And I think the way it works, and Michael kind of told me, is that they'll give instructions prior to showing up to the event. So you're gonna bring a couple things. We can provide some stuff too, whether it's cups and things like that. But I think people will bring their own shakers, and mixers and things like that.
Mhm.
But I'll ask Michael for those details. Actually, I'll probably get on a call with Michael and what's her name?
Stanley.
Sailor.
Mhm.
And if you want to join us too, if you like with her.
I haven't, I just been to a bar, I think she got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, she
Okay.
doesn't know me, but she knows my friends, I wasn't a regular. She would recognize me, I don't think, but.
Okay, well, because that's gonna be in May, and my thought was maybe either the 16th or the 23rd, could be any one of those days. We need to get an announcement, ASAP.
23rd is over Memorial Day weekend, so I wouldn't do it that way, because I think people will take.
So then I think the 16th ended up being the best initially, so we'll just set it for that.
Okay.
And I'll get the announcement out, I'll create a little flyer, and that way we can start to build momentum around it. We'll find out if we need a certain number of people for it to be a successful event. Maybe it's not because she's doing it via Zoom, but we'll get all the details before I put the announcement out.
That lady gets paid to just be on the Zoom, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
I know, right? She doesn't supply anything. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
I mean, it's like the subscription masterclass. Do you ever use that? Where you can you could take a course basically from a master gardener or a master interrogator, master reader, whatever it is. Yeah, and as long as you have the subscription, it's unlimited. It's actually really neat. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. I used to love it, but it's just like that. If they're experts in their field, I mean, it's worth just sitting down and listening to them share their expertise.
Yeah, I imagine she has some sort of program that she does, right? Like, I don't know what she does, but I can't imagine you paying her for to do one drink, like.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see what she does, or if there's 3 different drinks, then you could do teams that have. I don't know, she does it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
Okay.
be interesting. I've never heard that masterclass it is.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna lock in for May 16th.
They sure you have to do trips over Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like probably
And
you're
you have
cooking that one.
and you're making it while you're.
Yeah, so you have your chop, your lines ready, or you have your grapefruit juice, so you have yeah. So she gave that ahead of time, we could do really cute, you could get little frames and put that recipe in on each table, so you know what you're making.
But you're the one doing the work, not this lady.
Right, I know, it's like cooking, she's shaking there too, but
My daughter put herself through physical therapy school by big bartending, so we have our mom. Yeah, so we're going to be used to making Rachel.
Maybe we can use your daughter and if she can here.
She said she made money as a bartender.
well, that's
Right.
interesting.
It'll be cool. I think it'd be neat to just one, have it on that screen, but two, have people in here kind of making drinks with somebody.
I think she does her own podcast too, so I imagine she's pretty animated.
I mean, we can promote her after the fact.
Yeah.
If people really liked her.
Yeah.
That's probably also good promotion for her to even do these events. Okay, cool. So also in May, we'll have another food truck night. So I have 2 savory trucks lined up right now. One has not gotten back to me, so I think I'm just gonna go with the other one for this month, and then the one that hasn't gotten back will be in May. But I want to lock it in ahead of time. And what I've decided in terms of this event is let's get a bunch of new trucks, as many new trucks this year as we can. And if we find that some of them enjoyed it and they want to come back, I'm making note of those. When they say we're willing to come back, I have notes that say that they're good.
Do some of them come and they're like,
Well, there was
or
one that,
people being not interested, I guess, too.
if they didn't do that well, maybe they just don't see the potential in it, or it's just maybe it's too much of a drive for them. Some of the people are coming from West Palm Beach and Jupiter. That's a long drive. I've sold them on it saying, hey, we're right off the highway. It's way more convenient. You don't have to go out east.
Sure.
And even with Shark Shack has a fee. I think it's $1,200 to minimum that they they need to do.
For high school?
Yeah,
Big gosh.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
it
Does
is,
that mean, or they're gonna charge you, or they're just not gonna come back?
there's a fee, I think, so,
Something that's different.
yeah.
So there's the.
We have to pay that?
We don't, they're gonna waive it because we're exploring this event. I've kind of talked to them in a way where like they're willing to do it with us.
Say, don't have them come.
No, absolutely. She's very open minded. I told her kind of the head count that's happened in the past. I said it's like an average of like, 20 to 25 people. That's them buying for family and friends. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we're trying to improve communications, and we're pushing this event as often as we can. So, I think desserts always do better than savory. I've seen a lot of people come out just to get the ice cream and the cone of ice or whatever it is.
I
So,
think we need to start letting people know at the beginning of the month more what the truck's coming this month.
But you've been wasting that, right?
But we need to
Right.
try to know, because I do food trucks for the buildings that I work for.
yeah.
And I do a newsletter once a month at the beginning of the month, letting them know what food truck's coming, what event we're doing that month. So they just know at the beginning of the month what we're doing, and then I remind them
What's your attendance rate? Do you know,
for the food truck.
like average?
No, they asked me to come back, so it's a,
No, the people who attend.
Is your food truck like for lunch?
no, I do dinner. It's only one truck. I only let one truck come. It's a building of 300 apartments. So
Do you know how well they do? Or-
they asked to come back, but I'm never there.
Okay,
I do it with them. If they ask to come, I think I'd be office like, hey, we want to make sure we come back.
one thing I'm gonna ask if I can is, how to do the night, like a tally of,
Right.
purchases. Just to kind of get that number and say, all right, well, this is what we're doing currently. If we can do better.
But if we let them know a little, I think.
I agree.
Somehow.
That's why I'm trying to book for May now.
Mhm.
Same
If we
with,
could let them know in the first
yes.
what's coming.
And Patrick,
Some reminders.
yeah, and Patrick, our Carvel truck guy, he's happy to come and do these. I think he's done well enough each time that he's willing to continue. So he's a quick go-to on that. Same with Kona. Kona said they're willing to come back, especially in the summer because it is lightweight. So both of those can come back. I'm not looking to get a new sweet truck every single time, but there may be a chance where we don't do a sweet truck and the food truck has sweets, which we can do too.
I
So
think
we
you're
have,
gonna get much less attendance with that sweet truck. I
but
think half of us come down for the ice cream.
it's-
Like picky ass kids and not getting anything from the food
so
truck.
Joey's Kitchen was the last savory truck. I didn't even know this until he was closing down, but he had Italian ices and he had a bunch of different flavors. And he says, it's better than any Italian ice. I said, prove it to me. So he gave me a little taste of it. It was very good. And if, we advertise that's the dessert part of his truck and he has a wide range on his menu, he might actually suffice as like the food truck for the evening. I agree, though. I think there's a lot of attention that gets drawn to Kona Ice is on site. Shark
Or
Tank is
even
on
just
site.
how we had pizza or french fries, like something that like is,
Yeah,
like a non-offensive.
we haven't done a pizza truck yet, but
Do they even have this?
like flatbreads, yeah.
Usually, like a fire pizza, like a pizza, like one of those.
Yeah.
Or something.
I haven't played this song, but it's the country jumps.
That would be like Italian music.
Mr. Salt.
You were kids, you remember the one?
They still do it. They around to the parks.
You programmed, you hear that bell, you go, so it has to change, you go looking out.
Like every parent is like, so.
Something like when the ice truck comes in, have them play the song.
Just ride around and don't stop. Make its way all the way to the ice cream.
I'm like, I hear it, and I'm like.
It's the Pied Piper.
So,
And I'm not the only one, I think.
I'm here to get the like, everybody wants to get it. Because the golf cart has some.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we got a big floor, it's like the ice, so we drove around, we got small, and these ice cream nuts. So much fun. We paid for the ice cures, and we gave it out, we got, let them, get some of that. We do little things like that. Super expensive.
Yeah. And speaking of that, little things that are not expensive, I want to continue here because we'll get the food truck night set up, but Lorraine, any progress with the mosquitoes? So,
Oh, yeah, you know, I have so many messages for them, it's ridiculous.
okay,
I'm like, what is going on?
that's annoying, yeah.
I found this really cool thing with mosquitoes.
Okay.
And it's through Travis Pest Control.
Okay.
And it's not poisonous at all, but you pay $60 a month.
Yeah,
for it.
that's it. I was trying to get it for free, but I think you have to pay. for it.
Yeah, because they have to come out, they have to treat it, and it doesn't work the first few weeks, like, because what it does is there's like water on the bottom of that base, and it's mixed with something, so the mosquitoes come in, then they lay the eggs, they can't get out, it kills the eggs, and then the whole area is like mosquito free, and it's repetitive. And then you don't have to worry about any like, spray or, yeah. Um, I was blown away, like this guy just did at my networking group, and I was like, Chris, this is amazing. And so I don't know what, it covers a good bit of square footage too, so I think you would just need one, and it doesn't look like anything, it looks like a little black box that you just put it in the
I feel like
ground.
I've seen YouTube.
No,
stuff.
the thing it doesn't treat though are gnats or the no-see-ums. It kills mosquitoes. So if we have the opposite problem, then you're not gonna notice difference. But if it's the mosquitoes that are biting, it knocks them out.
That's good.
Yeah, $60 a month.
For your house, probably, like per house.
Maybe they have a commercial version.
Yeah, I can ask him.
Okay.
Yeah, I have his phone number. I can text him.
If he wants to write out and take a look at the area to see what it maybe would require two or something.
Yeah.
And then also, because we have the lake,
Mhm.
does the lake impact the
He
house?
was telling me about this one horror story about an area that was so bad and it was on the water like that and not one mosquito. Later, it's just like,
All right.
and I trust him. Like I know this, but he does my pest control. But I don't have mosquitoes at my house. I have a stupid no see.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know, when your eyeballs.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
haven't really had a bunch here, mosquitoes.
Yeah, well, when it starts raining, we're gonna have
Now,
worse problems.
It's been fine.
Right.
Last year was terrible.
I'm gonna also, you've got me, I didn't even think to ask, but our pest control company, Coastal Pest Control, I think I better ask them if they have a treatment
Yeah.
program too, that
Right,
we can roll into what would be, our sort of.
that's a good idea.
But ask your friend too, because I think it'd be good if they don't have one to have that as the option.
All right,
Try.
well, I'll have him come out and look, and I'll just show him the area that we wanna take
Okay.
care of, and then he can quote me a price.
Okay,
It's
great, thank you.
area. The big area, well, no, yeah, but he does, yeah, and believe me, he's a bug guy.
Yeah.
He'll be able to get pellets.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for making the attempt with them. I'm sorry it was so frustrating. Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be cool. I got the number you're supposed to get home, and it says he's not available. And then they send me somewhere else, and in the end, they put me right.
I feel like that's just so common now. And things.
So I'm like, I'm like, great, they transfer. Well, your phone's very important. I said, we'll transfer it. And I'm like, oh, here we go. They have the same system we do. I'm gonna wind up back with Travis. Sure enough. This is Travis. I'm not, he must be either on vacation or.
He doesn't exist. There's no Travis.
He's that one now, who's ever since COVID.
Who is it, third?
Warren County. But ever since COVID, this work from home thing is the biggest scam. Some people are, and some people. Aren't. So trying to get a hold of people that are supposed to be working, to get these. It's got much customer services.
So bad.
all right, well,
Okay.
let's move on. Next item, movie night or video game tournament. I think this is a very kind of like simple activity that I don't think it has to be a team night. I don't think we need to promote it as a team night, because I think one second we do that, no team.
Right, for sure.
But if we promote it as a video game tournament, and we can adults included or whatever, it could be fun. And maybe it's like a Mario Kart tournament, and we do it kind of like a March Madness bracket.
So would you project the game onto like the big screen or on here or?
Put it right on there, we would have 4 controllers, or if we could set it up where it's even more. I'm not sure if we can do a split screen and have 8 people racing at the same time. I'm sure you
Like
can.
bring your
Run.
roller?
Yeah, I mean, if I'll talk to Ryan to see like how many people can we have playing one game at one time. I think it's impossible. So that would be really neat, and then we would have to get RSVPs of how many people, who they are, and create the bracket, and then we launch the little tournament. We'll have to come up with prizes for like first, second, and third. We can have, drinks and snacks and stuff like that, and it'd be really fun.
I think that would be very fun.
I think the summer would be a good time for it too, when it's really hot, to do something indoors. So we can try and look at maybe something, whether it's,
Craft. Came out, so good.
yeah,
My kids are obsessed.
yeah, I mean, if that, so I think one of the things too is to put out like a little survey for parents to like have their kids respond or something, like maybe 3 game options that we would be able to access. That'd be Minecraft, Mario Kart, and Super Smash Brothers or something like that, or, and whichever one wins, wins. Um, So I think the steps with that would be to just kind of, put the feelers out, doing an event like this, get responses back on the game options, and then lock in a date. I would say maybe we would do it like toward the end of July, maybe beginning of August. Or we could even do it like, because we have so much going on in June. The other challenge here is we would need, I would say, at least like 2 committee members to host the event. Um, so I would love for Brian to be available because he is the tech guy and he plays video games, so he knows, I think, how to run these things. So I'm gonna ask him if, what maybe date would work for him, but I would like to be here too, because I think it would be really cool to see.
It's summer though, right?
Yes.
So
Would it make
Maybe you'll-
sense to do it on the food truck night where people could eat and then come over and play, or I don't know.
Not a bad idea, especially with school's out. Yeah, try and batch it in with that, so maybe like food truck and then video game tournament, and
and maybe have the food trucks here.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
move it to the circle for the,
Yeah.
could be just one food truck for that. Okay,
And not ice cream trucks, same time.
okay. Um. Okay, food trucks. Okay, I think we can work that out, so maybe it'll be the July 30th one, right? We do July 30th, it would be June 25th. Well, you know what, we can start pushing the topic, and if we start getting
You're
feedback,
trying to do a summer pool party in June, so then just do July for that thing.
you think so?
If you're gonna have the pool party in June.
Okay.
I don't think you need to double up on.
Yeah, that is a big one.
June.
Okay, so speaking of summer pool party and barbecue, all right. I had it originally scheduled for the 7th because I think we believe the sooner the better. We did it so late that we were getting close to hurricane season, so we actually hit like a rainy day. So we want to try and bump it back. I thought June 7th looked perfect. We could also do it on the 14th. I think either one of those. My thoughts on the 14th is that gives us a meeting beforehand. So if we need to finalize any details, make sure we're ready and prepared, we can do it then. You guys see a challenge with the 14th being an option?
I'm not a fan of, but
Okay.
it doesn't matter.
Um,
We're planning to travel in July, so I think that was here in June.
okay.
I do think some of the issue too, I think last year. I was away for it, I don't know where I was, but was it closer to like school starting?
It was August or something.
Yeah, I feel like in August, all of a
they
sudden
did
it's like everybody's having an end of summer party, everybody's having, like, so you're like, just, there's so many things happening, so it's better to be earlier, like it's a non.
You change the date.
I think we did two.
Oh, we did
We
two.
did one that was really.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's the second one, because I think it was like around the 20th, like first day of summer. It was like later in June.
Yes, it was, and it was
Yeah.
like toward the end of June that we did it, and then we did the patriotic pool party, which used the extra stuff, which
Right.
was not as successful.
You don't need to.
We don't
No.
need to, so I think early in June, 7th or 14th is perfectly fine. You know what, I could always move our meeting to the 5th, you know, that doesn't hurt.
Or have the Zoom or something.
Yeah, like it doesn't, we could keep it the 7th, honestly, I think maybe like earlier, the first Saturday in June is not a bad day to keep, so we could just keep that. And then,
Yeah, it's like a welcome to summer party.
and it's also right before the board meeting, probably better to do before the board. meeting.
So people like each other.
Yeah. So the board members can actually attend. Um, so yeah, I think that's fine.
For that, it's all that's not on.
Exactly.
Like 8. Oh my God, Danny. You get so tortured by people writing stuff to you on Facebook.
I'm just a messenger on this one.
Why are you so mean to me?
I think it's because I'm a messenger and like they don't know who else to respond to, but
All the message.
yeah. All right, so let's keep to that, and you know, we have a lot of information from the last one. I'm just gonna go back, I'm going to pull that up. And I will start an email next week about the summer pool party. So that we can start to get volunteers, because we have many stations. We also need to order a couple of things, right? The bounce house. We're gonna need to get a new slip and slide, so I'd love to find out if these rental places have one.
They do, I've seen that before.
It'd be really cool to get that as part of it, because
Like a blow up slip and slide, is that what you mean? I've
could be,
seen them.
could be blow up, could be just the flat. I donated the flat one, which I had in my garage, which got ripped up. But it was cheap. It was like from Walmart.
Yeah.
So they just don't sell the long ones anymore. They sell these short
There's
ones.
been too many concussions.
Yeah.
The blow up thing is probably the way to go.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so something like that, and then also now that we have a credit card, it might be worth looking at investing in some other sort of games or things, because I think Courtney was the one who donated some of the games. She donated her axe throwing for the day, which was really fun, kids used it, but we can go and purchase our own and have that in storage, that kind of stuff. So we'll go through the checklist that I had from the last one, and then we'll go and find out who's available for that particular day. I gotta check with Michael, make sure he can do the barbecue again, and if all's good with it there, we'll just do our purchasing. Be prepared, and day of,
We'll have a Costco by then.
that's right. Are you going to the grand opening?
I went to Costco today and spent a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
No.
The new one's not, yeah.
It's a madhouse down there.
It's a madhouse. Yeah, how do this many people not work? Like, I don't understand. There's no parking. I was there at like 10:30, like.
Those stores look dangerous. You just buy a lot of stuff you just don't need.
I bought 10 pounds of oats. My husband's like, do you even eat oats? He's like, that's all they got. That's all they got. He's like, I didn't have to buy it.
You're investing. When you go in there. Investing in a product.
My brother's coming, they eat.
It's a good time to start.
Every night it's gonna be.
Yeah. Smokes.
You know, cookie.
I had one other thought for the month of June. And that's to attempt to do a diamond movie night.
Well, that was a simple thing, right? That's not that big of a deal and it doesn't cost anything.
That's not the same as the summer
But-
pool party though.
It's not the same as the summer pool party, but what I thought is maybe we can shift the food truck night in June to being similar to what we were gonna do with the video game tournament. Is to have a food truck for the movie night.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Okay, so we could,
So you would be doing the movie night on the weekend. I mean,
I would do it on-
weekday.
no, I would move it.
Food trucks the weekend.
I would move it to a Friday or Saturday, and we would just try and find a truck that would be available. Again, this is another thing, like, I think I have to put it out there a month in advance, like you said. And get RSVPs, because if we're not getting some traction initially to like what we can anticipate people being. It's hard for me to communicate these trucks confidently, like it's worth it for you guys. Cause I think a lot of them wanna know, like, this sounds cool, but like, then they come and you don't wanna lose opportunities with a truck because the event didn't work out, but you never know, so. Okay, I'm gonna look at this. And then we can repeat the diving movie night, which we did in August, which was the pre back to school little batch, which was fun. And I thought of maybe starting it sooner, and that allowing for like a cornhole tournament to be a part of it too. So when it's still light out, you know, be fun to do that. And then when everybody's done playing, get in the pool. So that's it. Any thoughts or questions?
That's a Friday.
We can stop the meeting and then I want to go take a look at the cubbies that you made.
Oh, cool.